Hello everybody, I am Ben from Team Panic. Those of you who have been around the channel for a little while would know this particular face. This here is Strange Young Man, a featherweight that I have been fighting for a little while. Well, a long while. He was my first featherweight sportsman, and unfortunately he's been plagued with a few issues over the years. Sometimes it's the weapon, sometimes it's the drive, sometimes it's both. It turns out that featherweights have been kind of difficult, especially in the sportsman category. Now, there are a lot of things that need to be done with Strange Young Man, and there is a video about all of those coming. However, this particular video, we are going to look at aesthetics. Well, because yes, Strange Young Man looks really good, and one of my favorite things about Strange Young Man is what I just showed you in the opening there. When Strange Young Man's eyes light up, the crowd usually has some reaction to that. So Robot Wars is coming up. I want to make these two videos that I'm making, one so that we can maybe win Robot Wars, and two so that we can make Strange Young Man the most gamer. And by that, yes, I mean I'm adding RGB LEDs into this particular head. Now, I'm probably not going to go crazy with it. I could like insert them into the mouth grills here and stuff. But I think to start with, we're just going to go in the eyes. And I've had this idea of making it so that when you smack Strange Young Man or when he gets a big hit, his eyes change color. So here's what we're gonna need to get Strange Young Man's eyes to be RGB and also reactive to hits. So this here is RGB strip. This particular stuff is 5-volt stuff, which if I plug it into a power bank, you can see it all lights up quite nicely, gives us a really good color. I am not going to be using this particular cable that they have given because it has a control box on it that you need to Bluetooth, and I'm not particularly comfortable installing weird software from an unknown seller onto my phone. So we're not going to be worrying about that because this stuff is literally just RGB tape. I can cut it and I can splice it into other circuitry. So that is what we're going to do at the end of all of this process, or in the middle of all of this process, I should say. We also have an Arduino Nano here. I have two different kinds of sensors. So I've got an MPU 6050. These are a fairly standard accelerometer and gyroscope and magnetometer, I think they have in them. And I've got something else here, which is an MMA 7660, which is some other form of accelerometer. I chose this because a project a very, very long time ago, I used one of these to make a robot that when it fell over, it screamed. We're doing something fairly similar, but we're changing eye color when we get a hit. So it's kind of on the same vein. So I might actually even use this so I can just use some of the code again. And then I've got a motor driver here which will drive the LEDs, because even though these are 5-volt LEDs, we can't just run them off of the pins of the Arduino. So we have to have a driver board of some form. And I'm hoping that this really cheap motor driver will do the job. Obviously, this is all going to be very prototypey at the moment, and we may not even get to a proper finished thing before the end of this video, but this is a good start in any rate. And as mentioned, there will be more Strange Young Man content coming away very, very soon. Also, I am printing a new chassis. This particular chassis is just a PLA chassis. You can hear that here. And it's taken damage before. It's actually got a hole in the back of it. And while I can print TPU chassis, and indeed have in the past, the Strange Young Man head, this one that sits behind me on the filming shelf, is a TPU one. As you can see, I can like crush it in, no worries. But that does mean that the paint chips and flecks off of it. So I've got black TPU this time. I'm hoping that the chips and flecks will look more like damage to actual metal now rather than damage to something that is very clearly plastic. So while that's printing though, let's go ahead and get some of these parts together. Okay, I think I have the wiring just about working here. You can see out the back we've got a lot of stuff connected, including our motor driver and our accelerometer chip, which is the thing that should do the bump detection for us. And yeah, I say should because I've been having a little bit of trouble with this code. It's not actually been as straightforward. I have no idea how I managed to make the screaming robot work quite so easily. Anyway, let's plug this in and we should see the eyes light up. Good, they do. I do need to readjust. They're kind of coiled in here at the moment and it's not a great look. But that is all good. We're lit up, so now let's move the accelerometer. Oh, just... Okay, yes, there's still a bug in the code. That is a thing that happens a lot, unfortunately. And I'm running out of time for this. Maybe I'll get one of those new AI chatty things to help me with the code here. All right, it is a while later. I think I have the code actually working for this thing now. I've also tucked all the electronics in the head and like double-sided taped things in. We're still going to power off the USB power bank just for the moment. I will put an actual connector into it later, but fingers crossed, and here we go. Oh, nothing?
Error. Designation unknown. Error. Directive unknown. Scanning nearby devices. Recent relevant file found. Running. Facsimile detected.
3, 2, 1. Hello everybody, I am Ben from Team Panic. Those of you who have been around the channel for a little while would know this particular face. This here is Strange Young Man, a feather...
Designation. Strange young man. Error. Designation overflow. Recalibrating. Designation sim. Error. Directives unknown. Continuing.
The weight that I have been fighting for a little while. Well, a long while. He was my first featherweight sportsman, and unfortunately he's been plagued with a few issues over the years. Sometimes it's the weapon, sometimes it's the drive, sometimes it's both. It turns out that featherweight
Error. Weapon not found.
weights have been kind of difficult, especially in the sportsman category. Now, there are a lot of things that need to be done with Strange Young Man, and there is a video about all of those coming. However, this particular video, we are going to look at aesthetics. Whoop. Because, yes, Strange Young Man looks really good, and one of my favorite things about Strange Young Man is what I just showed you in the opening there. When Strange Young Man's eyes light up, the crowd usually has some reaction to that. So, Robot Wars is coming up. I want to make these two videos that I'm making, one so that we can maybe win Robot Wars, and two so that we can make Strange Young Man the most gamer.
Objectives identified. 1. Win Robot Wars. 2. Become the most gamer. File now irrelevant. Searching. Gamer. Definition. Found. A person who plays video games. Scanning devices for video games. Video game. Found. Dawn of War. Pertinent to all current objectives. Running Dawn of War. Multitasking initiated. Continuing research on gamers. Accessing game. Tutorial is not needed. Commencing. Start mission. Building units. Additional information on gamers gamers has been found. Gamers also yell at games. And have vibrant head follicles. Updating appearance. Appearance update complete. Commencing gaming. Units created. Send units. More builders required. Send units scouting. Building more units. Capturing resources. Clicking on unit progress. Units have found enemies. Adding more units, upgrades. Capturing more points.
For the dark god!
Enemies found. Attacking builders. All retreats. Bring it back to bed. Counter. Sending units to protect builders. Post almost destroyed. Additional info on gamers found. Must have Twitch stream. Error. Cannot have Twitch stream, which has RU robot protections. Error. Need additional help to access Twitch. Base found. Ready for another onslaught. Enemy main base taking heavy damage. Upgrading commander unit. Sending commander unit to fray. We almost have them, boys. We have won. Initiate gamer yell. Primary analysis suggests gamers say GGEZ. Starting second mission. Add power for additional unit production. Start with builders. Objective in sight. Become the most gamer. Upgrade builder units for faster production. Add more drone units. are set to stay. And more power generation. More power production online. Increase production. Capture more resource nodes. Time to apply pressure. More power production needed. Commander unit incoming. Power production steady. And buildings to increase. Effectiveness. Conflict initiated. Conflict is on. Build more upgradables. Add more builders to improve. This is on the outdoor one. Send in more units. Send defense units exploring. Defense units have encountered resistance.
For the dog.
This is good. We can eliminate them before they defend their base. Upgrade for central base. Started. Send defense units. Defensive unit immediately undefeated, converting to offensive units. GG.
Oh, cool. I just needed to power cycle them. Right, let's see if the actual bumping works. Come on. Huh, this is... Oh, did I get something? Hey, there we go. I'm not sure how well this is going to show up on camera. The red doesn't really show through the actual green lenses I've got. Probably going to need to change these lenses over to something new. But if I look through the head, yes, there we go. Okay, so it does kind of work. I probably need to tweak some of the settings in here just so that it works a little bit better, because like that bump didn't activate it, but that one also didn't. If I shake it, I get a good thing. I mean, then again, it is going to be in combat, so like the amount of vibration and shaking it's going to get is fairly decent anyway, so it might actually be pretty good. Anyway, this is probably where we're going to end this video. I have spent a lot of time trying to get this code working. It turns out that the online chatbots that are around all over the place aren't that good at writing code for this specific thing. I mean, it generated so much code. I think it like wrote its own library, or like Arduino library. Wild. I didn't really get a chance to look over it. Anyway, that is going to be where we have to leave this video. Have a really, really great April 1st, and I will see you in the next video. Whoops.